Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, no. Here comes the, oh. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, no. Here comes the, oh. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that.
What's up, everybody? Welcome in to the 615. It's your host, Lee Hills. And let's go ahead and holler at our co-host sitting here right next to us, Tyler King. What up, TK?
What's up, Titans Nation? I'm just ready to get into it, man. It's been an interesting it's been a little bit of a hard week, man. Yeah.
But you see, tonight we were talking Titans fall. Second week in a row. 24-17 in the home opener to the Aaron Rodgers-led New York Jets.
It's kind of like deja vu, man.
And there was a lot of mistakes made. Not only offensively, but special teams.
Exactly. Again.
For the second week in a row.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and show that special teams miscue before we do anything. Because that was the biggest mess up in my mind of the weekend. And here it is.
Very brief 3-and-out for Tennessee. Another punt for Stonehouse. His third of the day, a long of 63. And it's blocked! Out of bounds! Back-to-back weeks, the Titans have had a punt.
I mean, Lee, go ahead and say, I want you to tell me and the audience how many players that they sent on that.
The Jets sent 4 players. 4.
I mean,
and somebody got home.
4.
And somebody got home. Right now, can I just take the floor right here, Tyler, and say what I need to say?
Yeah, that's what I want you to do. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
I'm talking directly to special teams coordinator Colt Anderson. Fix this.
Mm-hmm.
This is the second week in a row that we've had a punt block. And that has came back to bite us in the rear end. That's your job, to get this fixed and make sure it never happens again. Same thing for Coach Callahan.
Yep.
It falls on your shoulders also, because you're the man leading this team.
Yep. And also go ahead and finish, and then I'll piggyback off what you're saying.
Because as most of y'all remember last year, that happened against Indy December 3rd. And Stonehouse was lost for the year.
Yeah, and just like I said, piggyback off of that, Stonehouse's last 3 regular season games, because you go back to that, he's had to deal with that for his last 3 games. A blocked punt. The Colts, and then this week and last week. It's insane. I mean, he's got to be frustrated, you know. They're supposed to protect him.
Exactly. And as I said, that doesn't really fall on Stonehouse. That falls
No.
That falls on Colt Anderson, Brian Callahan, and also falls on his protection up front.
Oh, yeah.
And as you say, the Titans fall 24-17. Same score they lost to the Bears by. And I'm fit to say this, Tyler, some way, somehow, the Titans are still the number one defense in the league.
I know. That's what we were talking about before, man. I'm like, and it's like I told you earlier, if you would have told me at this point of the year that we had one of the best offenses in the league, I'd be like, yeah, it makes sense because of the weapons we have. But if you were to say this and we'd be 0-2 and the best defense, I would have been out. I mean, I'm shocked. Like, and we haven't won a game, you know.
And the plays that we're dealing with, and most of y'all probably saw the clip already of Brian Callahan losing his mind.
Yes.
On Will Levis. And if you haven't, here it is right here.
Between head coach and quarterback, young quarterback, Brian Callahan letting Will Levis know that's unacceptable.
And in our pregame show on the NFL Day, Matt Ryan was talking about how a head coach has to relate to a young quarterback.
I mean, man, you see that, and I mean, it just hurts and it sucks because it's literally, it's like, man, like, you know, fool me once.
Shame on you.
Exactly. Fool me twice. Like, you know, I mean,
fool me twice, shame on me.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like, come on, man. But I know let's get into the stats and we'll come back to that.
Will Levis, if you take out the interception, the fumble, he had a good day.
Yeah.
And you see, Tony Pollard, and there was actually only one player who had both a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown, and that player was Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
Ridley had 4 catches, 77 yards on 6 targets, and the one touch and the only receiving touchdown. Ridley on like basically an end around, 1 for 10, and a touchdown.
Yeah. And then of course, I still am kind of confused on why we're not using Spears a little bit more.
Well, we got a report today. The Spears, he's day to day. He's day to day because of an ankle injury.
I did hear that it wasn't anything to be like too concerned about, though.
It wasn't like a Ryan Tannehill ankle injury, but he is day to day.
Yeah.
Tyjae Spears had 6 carries, 20 yards, with a long of 7. Spears was 2 catches on 2 targets for 11 yards.
Yeah.
So the Titans had a decent day.
I mean, I think
outside of the interception and the fumble by Will Levis.
I mean, and the blocked punt.
Yeah.
But I mean, I will say this. I do like the boneheaded play still did happen, but I do think I thought we looked better this week. I just think we got to quit trying to find ways to lose because you look and I'm trying to figure out why we're coming out like on fire, and then it's just we tank, and then you look at it and it's like if you at the end of the day, it really is those couple plays. But you know, we'll get into it later too, but I want everybody to understand this. And me and Lee have really like harped on this with, you know, when me and him were talking offline is I understand that Will Levis is made some bad decisions, but like, it's still game 2. And I feel like people are being a little too hard on just him when you actually critical when literally you've got to look at all the other stuff that also happened in the game. So.
But there's a play that has me scratch my head. I know, Tyler, it's somewhat perplexing to you. And this play, I couldn't have broke it down any better, but it ain't from me. It's from Dan Orlovsky. And it was that 1st and goal play from the 10 with under a minute left.
Good needed win by the Jets. I don't know if they talked about this in the broadcast. I was watching 1,000 games, but again, needed win but I don't know if this alignment is proper. They get a little, I guess, lucky to me. Watch, I think it's Rid at the top. Wide open. I mean, they get motion down. Looks like you're going to get man-to-man coverage with the motion. And there's no one in the middle of the field at all. And one-on-one, it looks like this safety's down to cover the back. But I'm shocked. Once you see that safety widen and that backer just kind of hang, I'm shocked Levis doesn't just float this to space. If he does, it's tie ball game. I don't know if the Jets are aligned incorrectly because they're playing like man-to-man double hole with no safety in the middle of the field. Meaning both these linebackers are just kind of hole players. Everyone else is playing man, four-man rush. I'm just surprised Levis doesn't launch that ball to space. Touchdown.
I know it's hard, man, when you see that.
And you see, I don't know who that was out there on the edge. Was that Wiley or was that Vanette?
I'm not sure. I'm not. I think it was Wiley.
And you had Wiley open also, if that's him,
Yeah,
to an extent.
or
Which would've
whoever it
made it-
was. Yeah,
It would have been a very second down and manageable
yeah, exactly.
on second and goal.
Yeah,
But I see where Dan Orlovsky's coming from on that play.
yeah, yeah.
And then while breaking down this play, actually I'll save that for later on. But
Okay.
you had post-game pressers yesterday. You had Brian Callahan, Will Levis, and in the locker room you had Calvin Ridley. Yesterday it seemed like that, from the way I understood it, is Callahan was taking credit, but he was also saying that you could also see it as him possibly throwing somebody under the bus.
I mean, you got to call a spade, but yeah, go ahead and yeah.
Yeah. But here's Brian Callahan post-game.
Had a solid first half, and then we lose a turnover battle 2-0. We give up another block punt. We haven't got a turnover yet on defense, and we go 5 3-and-outs on offense. That's on me. I can't let that happen. We were okay running the ball. Wasn't great. Wasn't terrible. Defense played well in the first half, and then when we needed to stop, couldn't get one. It's partially on an offense for not sustaining many drives. So that was difficult to overcome. I thought we played better than last week, but the mistakes were critical. And you lose 2 one-score games, and your turnover margin after 2 games is -4, and you're gonna have a hard time winning. So that's ultimately the name of the game, is protecting the ball and getting it back for us to go score. And we're not doing a good enough job of it as an entire team.
And
I mean, yeah,
I feel like Callahan said it best. You're -4 in turnover margin. You had 2 basically big breakdown plays that broke down. You had the fumble by Will Levis. You had the blocked punt. You had the interception that could have went either way
yeah,
because it was caught by Burks but stripped away by, I think it was Brandon Eccles for the Jets.
yeah.
But
Which there's
Will
been kind of
Levis-
some controversy on that play of whose fault it was, but I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
but
it's,
let's hear from quarterback Will Levis what he said post game.
Like the first say, I didn't mean to say that we can't do that we haven't done, but no, it's got to be something that's more second nature to me, and I'm going to do everything I can to rewire my brain to make sure that when I'm in those situations, I'm not making those decisions. And I think throughout my career I've gotten a lot better at not forcing things, or at least forcing balls into windows, but that's a different kind of play. It's something that is not going to show up as much, but is obviously much more important because the ball is put in jeopardy and the opportunity for the other team to get the ball. So we keep working to just be better for my team.
And Tyler, what do you think about that?
I mean, people, a lot of people say he's cocky and this and that, but I mean, it sounds like he is taking ownership, Um, and he is right. He's going to have to rewire his brain because it's weird because he's just a consistency thing with him. I think like he can look like a world beater at times, and then it's like what do you
The wheels fall off.
what do you the wheels fall off. It's like what are you doing? Like what was your take on that, Lee?
Well, I feel like Levis, there's a lot of potential with him, and I agree. Like he needs to rewire himself. He needs to retrain himself to look off those certain mistakes. Those
Yeah.
mistakes that like the fumble. You need
Yeah.
to learn to just tuck it and take the sack
Exactly.
instead of making the same mistake over and over. Like it's in my mind, it's like the definition of insanity: doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome.
Exactly. I mean, at some point, and I mean, at some point, he's going to have to. Yeah.
But actually, let's go ahead and just go ahead and go. Let's go ahead and dive into Calvin Ridley about what he said about his quarterback Will Levis.
Yeah, I told him this is your team. I mean, bro, play your game. Don't worry about what's going on. Yeah, you made a mistake, but this is your team. Play your game. It don't matter if we need you to third and short, run the ball to get the first. Play your game, but take care of the ball. That's all. Just play your game. This is your team. You think he's?
And I told you when we were going through these videos earlier, man. After seeing him and just the things that he has said in interviews, Calvin Ridley seems like a really, really positive, good teammate to have.
And after a lot of people saying that he was like a locker room cancer,
Yeah.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
At all.
I see a guy who's here for his teammates, who is willing to go stand up for his quarterback.
Yeah.
But we're going to save the other two clips for later on, which one of them is the weekly breakdown. And I had some misinformation that I'd gotten, and it was the Ridley or the Willis to Ridley, or well, Levis to Ridley touchdown pass.
Yeah.
I was originally under the misconception that it was overturned, but it wasn't. So while watching the clip, take that into consideration because you'll hear me say that it was overturned, but it wasn't. But let's look at the Jets also. Aaron Rodgers did not have that good of a day passing. 18 for 30. 18 for 30.
Yeah.
But that young running back, Brennan Allen,
He had 2 on the day.
and those were the 2 touchdowns by the Jets.
Yeah. He's the
Actually,
youngest
3
player in the
touchdowns.
NFL.
Breece Hall had a receiving touchdown. Brennan Allen had a receiving touchdown. He also had a rushing touchdown on the day. But you see what this team could turn into. Everybody is saying the Jets are contenders.
Man,
Do
here's
you-
my
do you
thing,
think-
though.
Do you think
I
they
don't-
are?
I don't know, man. I can honestly say, like, honestly, it's the same thing with the Titans. It's like right now, I mean, the Ravens are 0-2 right now. Like, right now, it is still early. Like, I've got to have a more sample size before I start really, like
A
I said,
bigger
when
sample.
we'll dive into our playoff predictions like halfway through the season, like we talked about. And I'll have a little bit. I could answer that question probably by then, but like right now, like it's still early. I mean, and I know everybody is going to hear me say this and say I'm crazy, but who's not to say that we don't go out and win the next 6 games? I mean, who knows? I mean, it's early, and that's why I need everybody to
Yeah.
just,
Calm.
yeah.
And Chidobe Awuzie came out and said, "Don't panic. Trust the process."
Yeah.
And when you hear players say, "Hey, just trust the process," does that give you some, I don't want to say comfort in what he's saying?
Well, I think right now, the defensive players that are saying that, they're frustrated. And they feel good with their, I mean, they're still, like you said earlier, still the number one defense.
Yeah.
And honestly, like this last week, at some point, the defense is going to get tired. I don't care if you are the number one defense. I mean, they're literally doing, and that's why I think that Garrett Wilson caught that pass over Awuzie, and then Snead got, he got blown past too. And I mean, they could, at the end of the day, the offense has got to start helping that defense. And I think when you hear a bunch of these defensive players talking, like last week when it was Jeffrey Simmons, I mean, at the end of the day, the defense is doing their job. There's no other way to put it.
Yeah. And let's go ahead and run into the team stats combined. First downs, the Titans had 20, the Jets 16. Passing first downs, Titans had 7, the Jets had 9. Rushing first downs, we had 9 rushing first downs. They had 6. First downs off penalty, we had 4 first downs off penalties. They had 1. Third down efficiency, both teams were 5 for 12 on third down. But the stat that I have, you see that's highlighted right there, fourth down efficiency. The Titans were 0 for 1. 0 for 1.
Yeah.
You could be 1 for 1 and 1-1 overall.
Yeah. I mean,
each team had 11 drives. The Titans had 300 total yards.
Do you have? I don't know if you don't have the time of possession, do you?
It's further on down.
Oh, okay,
Passing. We had 100. The Titans had 170 yards passing to the Jets 164. Yards per pass was 5.3. 1 interception. That sack number is highlighted. 4 sacks for 22 yards.
Yeah. And the one player had 3 of those for them. I can't remember his name.
Yeah. I wish I had the defense stats, but rushing, we had 130 yards rushing with an average of 4.6 yards a carry.
Yeah.
Red zone, we were 25% in the red zone.
Yeah, see, that's not good, man. That's
they
really
were 50%.
Yeah, man, that's that number, and I keep saying, like, when we get these like certain things that happen, like we got to start capitalizing on some things, man. Like we can't just you can't settle for field goal every time.
Like, if you're down there in the red zone and you have to settle for 3, do it. Don't gamble.
Absolutely. Yeah,
take the point and get out of there.
Exactly.
But the big stats, turnovers. The Titans had 2 turnovers in this game. 1 fumble, 1 interception. But time of possession. The Jets held the ball for 30 minutes and 3 seconds. We held the ball for 29 minutes and 57 seconds.
Basically half and half. I mean.
Yeah, basically half.
Yeah.
But before we get to that next number, I want to throw this play. This was the Levis to Ridley touchdown. And then I'll throw the breakdown right after it.
Shotgun Levis, 2nd and 9. Levis looking for the big one. And a sliding attempt somehow Ridley was there for the touchdown. Will Levis throwing to Calvin Ridley.
It's an amazing catch, dude.
And just a little disclaimer. I was given some false information on this, saying by what I had understood that I thought it was overturned, but it wasn't. But here is the breakdown.
The play we're looking at, 2nd and 9, 3:28 left in the third quarter. This play was the touchdown that was called back as an incomplete pass to Calvin Ridley. And the breakdown of this is, let's start up front. You had a block off the left side. You had a double team between the center and the left guard. Left tackle went man, and the defensive and the right tackle went man also. With Chig, you had the post right here with Tyler Boyd, number 83. You had Jet, and then the bench. You had this dig route by Hop, but you had this flat by number 20, Tony Pollard. But the part of this play we want to look at is the go route by number 0, Calvin Ridley. What I'm guessing happened because I'm guessing this right here was his first read. I'm guessing this bench route was probably the second, because the way that I saw it on the replay is that and that converged up here on that go route. Converged at the very top of the route. And it was supposed to caught the one and he rolled in. They went back and looked, said that he didn't have possession. You had Hop open, most likely, because the safety rolled. One safety rolled up, the other one rolled down when Ridley went in motion. Which means if this corner went with Hop, you had Pollard open also. So you had guys open, but you'll hear but you heard Brian Callahan say that he loves this type of aggressiveness to go take the deep shots on really good corners and really good DBs. And this was the 2nd and 9, third quarter play between Will Levis and Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, and just to piggyback that, the reason why there was confusion is because on the broadcast they were the broadcasters that were calling that game didn't think that it should have counted for a touchdown. They said he should have been down at the 1. So I think that's where maybe the miscommunication came.
Yeah, yeah. But I feel like had we gotten that takeaway, had we gotten a takeaway from the Jets, we might sit at 1-1.
Yeah.
Or had that drive ended with a touchdown, we might be 1-1.
Yeah. What we got next?
But let's go to this. Most pressured quarterbacks in the NFL, percentage of dropbacks. This was from week 2. Will Levis, 53.4% of his dropbacks, he was under pressure. He was
And
the
why?
most pressured quarterback in the NFL in week 2.
Why?
And you hear, and I think
Go ahead.
I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Why
Yeah.
is nobody talking about the Titans' offensive line?
Yeah, NPF is getting work, dude. I mean, but everybody wants to say it's Levis this, Levis that. Like, yes, did he do some not very smart stuff? Absolutely, but man, like, why I don't know why they're being so. Some people are being very extreme on it, and it's like you can't argue with what you just brought up, dude. You can't argue with that. That's not just Levis. Levis doesn't block for himself.
Exactly.
You know.
But let's head to the good, bad, and the ugly. We both said the good thing about this game was the defense. The defense has really shown up. And when you least expect it, this defense has been the bright spot for this team.
I mean, they're the best in the league, man. Through 2 weeks.
The bad, I went with what Tyler had as his ugly, which is Levis's decision making and accuracy. But I also threw in special teams because that blocked punt and then the fumble by Will Levis. Both of those things could have been averted had people done their job.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you also went special teams. I think it's for the same reason, the block punt.
For the second week in a row. I mean, like you said, that's why I'm so glad you opened the show with that, because something's got to happen there. Something has to happen there. Like, absolutely. Something's got to change. Like you said, you couldn't have said it better. I mean.
And then the ugly.
Yeah.
For me, it was the block punts and the fumble.
Yeah.
You have to – the big thing is you have to take care of the ball. And Brian Callahan said it. You protect the ball, you have a chance to win the ball game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean –
And what I had as one of my bads you have as the ugly, the decision-making and the accuracy of Will Levis.
Yeah.
And I could have also had the failed execution.
Yeah, and the thing about the accuracy that I'm struggling with is he overthrew Ridley again this week, man. And I mean,
throwing into
Ridley
double
is
coverage.
open almost every play. Yeah, and exactly.
The Burks play. You throw it into double coverage. That play could have went either way.
I was about to say,
you could have had the touchdown.
Play, yeah.
You could have had the touchdown, or the way it went was the interception.
Yeah.
And you know Tyler as good as anybody because you played wide receiver.
Yeah.
If it's a 50-50 ball and you both have your hands on it, 60% of the time it's going to the wide receiver.
Yeah, it goes to the offense.
But you're seeing a different pattern in the NFL.
Well, did you see the Callahan? That Callahan said that Burks should have came down with that.
Well, he had it until it was ripped away from him.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean,
if I'm an official, I'm giving the Titans the first down right there.
Yeah.
Because he was already on the ground when it was ripped away from him.
Yeah, for sure.
He was flat on his back. And
it could have gone either way.
I'm going to quote Josh Pate on this. The officiating has gotten worse and worse.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
In NFL and in college. NFL and in college.
Sure. Absolutely.
The officiating is terrible now.
That one play in the fourth quarter that he tried to get Hop in the corner of the end zone. Dude, I don't know how they did not throw a flag on that. Sauce Gardner was literally like holding, like DPI. Yeah, big time. And it was like Hop at his age is still roasting one of the best quarterbacks in the league and getting held by him.
Exactly. But
And they didn't throw it.
The play that I want to discuss, everybody is saying that this right here hurt the Titans, the fumble. Here's the play guide. This was the game cast from ESPN. First and goal from the 7. Pollard right off the right guard to the Jets 6 for 1 yard. Quentin Williams on the tackle. 2nd and 6 from the Jets 6. Shotgun. Will Levis pass incomplete, short over the middle to Tony Pollard. 3rd and goal at the 6. Will Levis sacked at the Jets 11 for -5. Fumbles. Willie McDonald. McDonald touched at the Jets 12, recovered by the Jets at the 12.
Yeah.
And then the Jets on the next series goes 3 and out. So for everybody saying that fumble hurt us, no, it didn't. Because did they score off it? No, they did not. The interception on the next series, they did. They scored a touchdown on the very next series of theirs.
That was because of a Jeffrey Simmons penalty, and people are forgetting that.
But Mike Herndon, I feel like, said it best. I'm going to skip down to the second line. But while you can't remove the bonehead play from the evaluation of his performance, if you did, it was actually a pretty strong showing from Levis. And if we weren't coming off that flick 6 against the Bears, we probably wouldn't have reacted that strongly to the Superman roller. Again, you can't just pretend that those plays weren't part of his evaluation. But they also can't be the only part of his evaluation.
Exactly.
Will Levis, outside of those bonehead plays, had a pretty good game.
I mean, yeah, if he doesn't do that, I don't know. Like you said, the fumble thing, they didn't score. It's like you just said it, so.
But you sent me this before the show started, and I went very quickly and put this in from Tighten Up Times on Instagram. Ridley let the touchdown go through his hands. Burks had the ball snatched from him on that pick. Big Jeff penalty was costly because it resulted in a Jets touchdown. The punt team can't block 4 guys. It resulted in a field goal. But y'all blaming this game on Levis doesn't make sense.
Thank you, and that's why I sent it, because you can't, did he make some mistake? Yeah, but you can't. I mean, you just that was the best post that I see that pretty much, in my eyes, wraps this game up. We've got more issues than just. There was more issues in that game than just Levis, and people are just so. I mean, people are calling for Mason to start and everything now, and I'm just like, guys.
And we'll get into that here in a minute after we run through this. So the thing that you're fixing to see is the 4 quarterbacks that were drafted in the first and second rounds of 2023. One of the 3 ain't even starting. He's been benched.
As of today.
And Bryce Young.
Literally.
And Bryce Young. After 18 games, he's been benched. But the way I look at it, yeah, he doesn't lead really anywhere statistically. All of them are pretty even. But I think out of the 3, the second best quarterback's Will Levis in certain things.
Yeah, and I think also it kind of goes back to, I mean, and we really don't, I mean, and I'm glad you brought this up because we talked about this too. Malik Willis beat the Colts on Sunday. Anthony Richardson.
I have those stats pulled up if you want me to.
Yeah. Anthony Richardson had
Was booty cheeks. Was booty cheeks.
booty cheeks. Had 3 picks and a fumble. I don't know if he lost the fumble, but still, he did fumble. So at the end of the day,
Let me.
but people aren't taking him down like they are Levis. So I don't know, man. The media is an interesting entity when
But
it comes to the Titans.
Anthony Richardson, 17 of 34, 198. That's with the 6 yards off for the sack. 1 touchdown, 3 picks. But the counterpart for him was Malik Willis. 12 of 14, 122, and 1 touchdown. He also had 6 carries for 41 yards. And we'll get more into Green Bay on Thursday.
Yeah.
But the thing that I'm wanting to try making sense to everybody is there's no sense to panic right now.
There's really not. Everybody, please hear what Lee is saying.
Will Levis has only played 11 games in his career. I got into a discussion today with some people, and I'm going to try and pull this up. And Tyler, you know right where I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Because Tyler's already read it.
Yeah.
And it was this. Because a lot of quote unquote crap hit the ceiling in a group chat.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not throwing anybody under the bus.
No, absolutely not.
But I said the way I look at Will, yes, this is year 2, but he is still considered a rookie in my mind because he hasn't played a full season worth of games yet. So what I would give him is the same benefit of the doubt that you would give a guy like CJ Stroud or Anthony Richardson in their rookie season.
Yeah.
You would give those guys the benefit of the doubt.
Well, they are Anthony Richardson for sure. Nobody's talking about the atrocity game that he had, man. You know. Lee, you there?
There I am. My camera had messed up. My camera had messed up when I went over to read that message.
No, you're good. You're good.
But as we were saying, one of those 4 quarterbacks has now been benched as of today, and it's Bryce Young. So Brad Steele from Two-Tone, the Two-Tone podcast, who was on here just before we played, I want to say it was Seattle.
Yeah, I think you're right. Or no, maybe it was after, but yeah.
Well, he said 6 hours ago, and this is as of September 16th. So this was 6 hours before this recording. For Titans fans wondering, this is why you don't bench Will Levis for Mason Rudolph. 1, it's a ridiculous overreaction after 2 games. And number 2, once you bench a young guy like this, there's no going back.
Yeah.
You better make 100% sure he's not the guy before pulling the plug.
Yeah.
If you bench Will Levis now, you're breaking him.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're killing his confidence. That's what you do not want to do. You want to have a young quarterback like Will Levis with all the confidence in the world that you trust him. And Callahan came out today and said, yeah, I trust Will. Am I proud of how I handled the situation? No.
Yeah.
But could I have handled that situation better? Yes. Yes, I could.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Tyler, should we go ahead and give everybody a little teaser of 2 weeks from now?
Absolutely.
So 2 weeks from now, we have Monday Night Football, right, Tyler?
Yep. Against the Dolphins.
In Miami. In Miami.
Yep.
So
Pressure up the middle.
watch party is around the corner. Monday Night
Absolutely.
Football, September 30th at 7 p.m. right here. Game kicks off at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central. And this should be a fun game.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully,
it's gonna-
hopefully we're coming off of a win.
yeah. And the Dolphins just signed Huntley today.
Yeah, Tyler Huntley is now a Miami Dolphin.
Yeah.
But
And I don't know if it looks like the NFL's wanting to retire, so I don't know what's going to be going on there.
and we'll keep an eye out on that.
Yeah,
Does
for sure.
Tua retire? Does he not?
Yeah.
But should we go ahead and go one more? Should we go ahead and go one more Mike Keith while we're at it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Touchdown Titans!
It's gonna be fun, y'all. It's gonna be a good time.
So yeah, y'all come hang out September 30th, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, and come hang out with Tyler and I as we walk you through, do play-by-play of Titans, Dolphins. But Tyler, man, we'll be back Thursday night. We'll be back Thursday night, same time, getting you ready for Titans, Packers.
Malik.
Next Sunday, Malik Willis returns to Nashville, which is kind of scary to say.
It's kind of
because
weird.
he just beat Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
y'all, of course, if you go back and watch this later, go to the description and grab some merch, dude.
Absolutely.
Go to the description, click the link, grab you some merch, and send us a picture of it. Send us a picture of you in it. And if you're listening to the podcast, go to the description on the podcast and go to the link and grab you some.
Absolutely.
Well, Tyler, let's go ahead and shut down shop.
Absolutely.
As we like to say here, stay classy and tighten up.
Tighten up.
Tighten up! Let's get tightened up! Tightened up!